Words only have one meaning, don't they? Today, we talk about the one meaning fallacy on this episode of Ancient Egypt and the Bible. All right, today we're going to talk about the one meaning fallacy, sometimes called the one word one meaning fallacy or the concordant fallacy. This is not to be confused with concordant interpretations, where science and the Bible are kind of merged together. The idea of the one meaning fallacy is that when you read the Bible, that words always have the same meaning or mean the same thing from text to text. Let's start with some examples. Genesis 1 verse 5, quote, "And God called the light day, and the darkness he called night, and there was evening and there was morning one day," end quote. The word day always means a literal 24-hour cycle of day and night. Therefore, Genesis 1 is talking about a literal 6 24-hour days of creation. This is a common argument from creationist groups like Creation Ministries International or Answers in Genesis. A second example comes from the infamous 1 Kings 6:1. Quote, "Now it came about in the 480th year after the sons of Israel came out of the land of Egypt." End quote. Associates for Biblical Research maintains that when numbers are used with a count of years, it's always a literal count, and that this necessitates that 1 Kings 6:1a is talking about a literal 479 years. But how do they know that years are always counted literally? Yet another example is from the New Testament, where it talks about the law. Some groups, like the Hebrew Roots movement, consistently interpret the law to mean everything found in the Pentateuch. Moreover, some ideologically driven translations, like the Jehovah's Witnesses' New World Translation, was said to be a concordant translation based upon a one-word, one-meaning principle. Now, the problem with the one-meaning fallacy is that words don't just have one meaning. They can have many meanings based upon the context. Take the word bread. It can mean a baked starch loaf that's tasty to eat. But if I said, quote, "Rocco, give me the bread," end quote, I could be talking about money instead. Context matters. The word run can have over 50 different meanings. I run or go to the store. I run or execute a computer program. There's a run or drip on the paint job. There's a run or defect in a silk stocking. There's a run or excess demand for currency on the banks. And the list goes on. This comes down to a factor that linguists call lexical range. Few words are confined to a single meaning, but are used within a wide range of meanings depending upon their context. Hebrew lexemes had a large semantic range, as do most languages that have fewer lexemes. But lexical range can also be found with Greek words as well. Now, this doesn't mean that you can claim that words mean anything you want. See our video on the persuasion definition fallacy. But it does mean that the lexical range is greater than a single meaning. In the case of the word day, the Hebrew word yom can mean a literal day. But it can also mean daylight, a period of time, a point of time, for example, in the day I called you, end quote. In the case of, quote, 480th year, end quote, we have discussed previously that Israelites had numbers that were idiomatic. Umberto Cassuto mentions that such numbers include 7, 12, 40, and their multiples. And 480 is a multiple of 12 and 40. which opens up the possibility that this is not a literal count of years, but a number of numerological significance. For the meaning of the word law in the New Testament writers use that word in multiple ways. It can mean the Torah or the Pentateuch, Matthew 5:27. It can refer to the Sinai covenant, Romans 5:13. It can refer to the ritual law, Hebrews 10:1. It can refer to the moral law, Romans 2:12, or even to criminal law, 1 Corinthians 6:1. Context determines the specific meaning. In conclusion, the problem with the one-meaning fallacy is that it places arbitrary limits upon the interpretation of the Bible that is not found in natural language. And as such, it stunts interpretation, often in favor of doctrinaire or ideological positions that twist the original meaning of the scriptures. Anyway, I hope you found that interesting and you learned something. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time on Ancient Egypt and the Bible.